Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. On today's show, we're taking a look at why housing demand in the market has defied demographic predictions. In the wake of the great financial crisis, many demographers were predicting that the large detached homes belonging to the parents would become dinosaurs in the market. Market studies showed that millennials' tastes were different from their baby boomer grandparents and Gen X parents. As boomers exited from the large detached homes and downsized, these relative mansions are not affordable, and the intrinsic design of the homes doesn't match today's lifestyle. The main living space is carved up into small rooms that are rarely used. In a modern house, the open concept kitchen and family room form the hub of the home. Older designs with the formal living room and formal dining room sacrifice space and result in a flow that doesn't match today's lifestyle. Unless you're willing to undertake a major remodel, including possibly redesigning structural walls, these houses have become functionally obsolete. In any economic activity, if I show you the incentive, you can often predict the outcome. If you go back a generation, the definition of the nuclear family was two parents and their children, sometimes a single parent and their children. A multi-generational household, though, is defined as a household in which at least 3 generations of family live under the same roof. Despite the recent growth, this style of living is not new whatsoever. If you go back to the 1800s, this was extremely common. Though many young adults dream of moving out of their parents' home to start a life on their own, many more are now considering multi-generational living as a more realistic option. This trend is growing especially fast as the high cost of homes in major urban centers continues to rise, and the pandemic causes many to re-examine their living situations. The multi-generational home is cheaper on a per-person basis than 2 separate detached homes. But even more important for the younger generation is the financial contribution to the equity from the parents. There are a number of social advantages to raising of children with grandparents in the house. And for many, the decision to have a multi-generational home is sometimes financially motivated. The parents, and soon-to-be grandparents, want to help their kids get a financial footing through home ownership. But the idea of a handout's not the best. So that co-living arrangement creates a win-win situation. Some of these houses are being designed from scratch with a separate suite for the grandparents. Some are taking the large 5 and 6 bedroom homes and retrofitting a granny suite in the design. The trend is real, and it's fundamentally changing the assumptions around household formation. The national demand for housing is a function of population, of employment, of demographics. In each decade, the current generation of working adults will require a certain amount of housing, but it's not just any housing. Students in their late teens and early 20s have vastly different needs than when they're in their 30s, and different again from when they're in their 50s, and so on. Every decade has a signature in terms of what is an ideal place to live. The U.S. Census Bureau doesn't directly collect data on lifetime moves, but they estimate the number of moves that people make in a lifetime. They've conducted a number of studies. The last major study was done in 2007, and it estimated that a person in the United States can be expected to move, on average, 11.7 times in their lifetime, based on the current age structure and the average rates, and allowing for no more than 1 move in a single year. At age 18, a person can expect to move another 9.1 times in their remaining lifetime. By age 45, the expected number of moves is only 2.7. It's possible that once a multi-generational home is established, people will move less frequently. Moves into senior housing could be delayed to later in life. The catalyst to move into independent living senior housing is diminished in a multi-generational living arrangement. The move into senior housing is more likely to be triggered by a medical event than a desire to have a lower maintenance home. Aging in place is much easier in a multi-generational context than an empty nest. These trends have surprised many economists and demographers who never saw this change coming. Very few homes currently on the market are meeting the needs of these families. I believe strongly in the philosophy that we are all product designers, where even a residence is a product designed for a specific set of customer needs. And if you're concerned with the current economic cycle, it's even more important than ever to have a product that's highly differentiated in the market, addressing the needs like the multi-generational home, which is a rare find in today's market. Most customers will want a turnkey product. They want to move in and start living right away. Most are not looking for a renovation project that's going to take months to complete. And if they're amalgamating their house with the older generation, moving up from something smaller, turnkey is almost a requirement. As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.